Have you been seeing this ad all over Facebook lately? Every time I open up my Facebook app or on my desktop, it is all I see. It's this master bundle of transitions and effects and LUTs from a company called, well, that's actually interesting. It calls itself Studio Planet, but their website is Studios with an S Planet. So like what their name is and what their website are not the same. A little bit sketchy, but for $99, you got like thousands of things for your editing system. So I had to check it out. I couldn't help myself. I did do a whole backup on my computer right before I started recording this because I don't know this company, and a company that can't agree on the name of their website or their brand name is very weird to me. But in the interest of science, we're going to get down into it. So I did go ahead and download all of these elements in this master bundle. I installed them in my Final Cut where I could. Some of them you just kind of like bring into your project, I think. And we're going to take a look at them right now. So here we are in my Final Cut. I've just like set up some projects for us just to play with so I can show you what the different effects are. And first of all, I want to start with the Studio Planet transitions. If I go over to my transition bins, here are all of the folders I got for my $99, all of these different transitions. There are so many of them, and I'm not going to go through every single one today, obviously, because nobody has time for that. But I am just going to click around and show you generally what a lot of them do. So the first thing I've got set up here in my project is just like these couple of golfing shots that I took. I haven't even color corrected them. It's just something I shot really recently. And I just want to throw in some transitions and show you what we're talking about here. These are just drag and drop transitions, and we'll let it render real quick and play it back. So it's this kind of like, these first camera shake groups are kind of the moves you've seen a lot. These are pretty popular. They go in different directions. There you go. So there's about 8 of them in that folder. Now let's move on to the next grouping. This one is distortion. There's a lot more in here. I'm just going to pick random ones. Let's drop this in. So that's like a water drop move. Let's hit this one. Flag right, this one is called. That's kind of interesting. Let's try this one. Glitch right. That one's a lot more stylized. It's got a lot of pixelation. Not typically something that I would go for with my corporate clients. You know, I do a lot of stuff for corporations, marketing videos. So a lot of these transitions are not going to be for me or my clients. And that's true with when I buy any transition pack. Usually there's a bunch in there that I probably will never touch. But, you know, that's just kind of to be expected. In this pack, the master bundle, I did notice there's kind of a lot of them that are like that. What's this one? Image quake. Yeah, like it's just not for me. But there's, you know, interesting ones in here. And if you have more creative or fun projects than I do, you might like this a lot. Let's go down to Studio Planet Glitch. This is, again, more glitch transitions. If I hover over the thumbnail, you can kind of get a preview of what it's going to look like. Let's try this one just to show you what it looks like. Yeah. Not my bag. And you can kind of, I guess, modify some of the properties of these transitions. Just not quite for me. Let's go down to light leaks though, because I actually really do like this one a lot. And there's a lot of light leaks in here. Let's just pick Translight 11. I'm going to drop this in. And of course you can change the duration of that by shortening your transition here in the timeline. And then the other thing we can do is change the color. So right now it's set to orange. And if I want to see more of that orange, I dial up that intensity. I can play with the saturation. I can turn down the value, which I probably would do It's very affected. And look at that. I can play with this gamma here too. So let's see what that's going to look like. See, that's kind of more my speed. It's much more subtle, and there's a lot of different light leak transitions in here. These are ones I probably will actually end up using. Let's move down to Studio Planet Perspective. There's just 4 in here. These are kind of more of those like very trendy moving ones that we've already seen in some of the other groupings, like in the camera shake that we just looked at. Let's go to Studio Planet Shape. Now these are very interesting. These are kind of like a little more cartoony feeling. It almost feels like an old Nintendo vibe, these sort of digital ones. But if you scroll down, there are these circular ones that I actually really like. And then there's these ones that I actually really like, these types of wipes. And let me show you when I would typically use something like this. It wouldn't be, let's say, over this golf shot. It would be more like going from a shot like this to a graphic. Let me pull, let's do this one. I'm going to drag and drop this in here. Let me show you what it does. So this, in this circumstance, is something I would probably use. And what I really like about this is that I can customize the color. And I like that. Let's pick like one that's a little funkier. Let's try this. It's called Around Left. And again, I can customize the color on that. Yeah, so that is something I actually do think I would use in the right circumstance if I was doing something with dynamic text and like an animation I had created in Motion. Let's go to the next grouping, Studio Planet Simple. So there's a lot under this category. There's these like brush effects. Let me just throw this in here for you. Not quite for me, but I could see in a very like specific circumstance that you might use this if you were doing something about home design. If we go down here, these ones are distortion. Again, these are like those old VHS noisy ones, just not anything I would typically be using. Yeah, not for me, but I don't know, maybe you're into it. Somebody's into it. Let's look at these. These are called fades. This one's called Circle Out. So you see it's got like a prism effect in the middle. Let's go curtains left, right. What does that mean? Let me see what we can modify in this transition. It's okay. It's okay. I might reach for it if I was really out of ideas, I think. Here's one called Ink. This one I know I'm not going to be crazy about. This is called Burn Large. Yeah, not for, it's just not my style, but listen, it's there for somebody for sure. And here we have some just like kind of general lens flare effects. Here's one that's called Leak Blue. Then again, there's more light leaks. These ones look a little different. The effect on them is a little different. I definitely get the sense that this like master bundle of transitions was sort of just like cobbled together, whatever they could get their hands on. They just, you know, bundled it all together. So there's a lot of overlap. Oh, there's text effects. Interesting. So with these text effects, let's see what we can modify. Goes by really quickly, but if you make the transition longer, it really works. I'm gonna say I'm a big fan of this text transition. I have other text transitions that I use, but I don't know, I really like this one very much. I'm kind of surprised at how much I like it. And of course you can change the color of the background to whatever you want. All right, next grouping is Studio Planet Side Pan. Let's move on to our next two shots here just for a little variety. So I've got this food shot here and it actually just cuts into a tighter shot. Let's just play around with this. I'm gonna insert panorama up as our first trial here. What do you guys think about that? There's a lot of distortion here, and obviously that's by design. All right, let's go on over to Studio Planet Split. These are split screen transitions. I'm just gonna drop this in here. There were a lot of transitions in that Studio Planet Split folder. Wow, there's a ton in there. I think a lot of them are pretty cool. If you're looking for like a split screen transition, there's a lot of shapes in there, a lot of stuff I don't have, so I do like this very much. Let's go to the next one. This one is called Studio Planet Stylized. These look like those photo album montages you get with Final Cut. But what's interesting about these, let me grab this one. I'm going to drag it back over here. Is when you click on the transition, it shows you what's going to go in each place in your photo album. So let me hold this over so I can show you what I'm talking about. So you can see on our screen when I have the transition selected, you see a little 2 here, a little 5. It's telling me what frame is going to be in what place in our montage. And if you see here, this one, number 6, is empty. And what I can actually do, this is amazing. I can drag it in somewhere else in my timeline. Whoa, look at this. And I can customize what goes in every frame. Whoa. I love that. I think that is so well designed. And they have like the sports backgrounds as well, which is like super common. Nothing too special for me here. Let's move on down to Studio Planet Transform. Okay, these look more like those ripple whip movements that are very hot right now. Let's throw this in here and see what it looks like. This one is called Jelly Left. So there's a lot of distortion on these. I'm not crazy about that personally, but I think, I don't know, some people might be into it. So those are the transitions. I'd say there's a lot of repetitions with this master bundle. It's not thousands of very unique transitions, but there are a few gems in here. I did like the text transitions very much. I liked those a lot. I definitely see myself using those. And then also those like colored circle wipes or zigzag wipes where you can customize the color. I think those are going to be great add-ons when I create like a text, dynamic text animation in motion, and then I bring it into Final Cut to incorporate in a project. That's going to be a great transition for me. Some of these moves that they have, I actually have a lot of plugins that do that already, which I do kind of like better. But if you don't have those transitions, there's a lot of them in here for a very good price. So I think you would be really happy with that. So one of the other parts of the master bundle is that they promise, I think it's 1,947 LUTs. I'm not a huge LUT person. I don't shoot flat that often. But I have a little bit of experience with it. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not like a color grading expert, but I do want to show you what these LUTs do. So with these LUTs, you actually install them in Final Cut in your package contents. And then when you go to custom LUTs, they're all in there for you. So let me show you how it works. I'm going to go over here to this project where I have a couple of shots that I did shoot flat. And I want to show you how we do this. So I've already installed the LUTs into my system, and Studio Planet does give you instructions for how to do that once you purchase it. So what we want to do is go on over to filters, and let's go to color, and let's click and drag the custom LUT filter, which comes in Final Cut. This is not part of Studio Planet's platform. Drag that over here, and now when I go to my LUTs, these are all the ones that I got from Studio Planet. Now, my one gripe about these, to be honest, if we just hover over one category, and then you see, look, I mean, look at how many there are, and they're not descriptive at all. Like, I would have no idea what any of these do just by name. And so I feel like you would really have to take the time to find the ones you like and notate them or rename them or something, because it's just like so overwhelming how many there are. And some of them I just, you know, I just don't get it. Like this category is called Japan. And to me, I don't get it. But let me find one that I did think would work for this particular shot. Moody 30. And so once you apply the LUT in the custom LUT filter in Final Cut, there's like nothing, no adjustments to be made except for the mix, which I'm not crazy about. So I'm just going to go on over to grabbing another third-party plugin I use to control my LUTs. This one's from Pixel Film Studios. It's called the LUT Film. And here now I have like all these other controls that I can use to sort of fine-tune my coloring. So that's Moody 30. Another one we might try is Memories 3. So you get some looks in here, but you have to do a lot of digging to find the LUTs that are really going to work for your project, I think, unless, you know, like I said, I'm not a color grading expert. Maybe there's, you know, these numbers, Memories 3 signifies something to an expert in this, but for me, it's just a lot of trial and error. Let me show you another one. This is a flat drone shot we took in Miami. And so again, I'm going to go to the color filters, drop in custom LUT, and for this one they actually have a drone category, Skyviews drone, and I'm going to grab drone shot orangey, and again I'm going to go back to my LUT film plugin where I can actually fine-tune the LUT. And so, yeah, I mean, you can make adjustments with these LUTs. There are a ton of them, just as promised. It's like an overwhelming amount of LUTs, in my opinion. But maybe if you're super into this kind of stuff, you would love it. So that's the other big part of the master bundle from Studio Planet. There are a couple other things that they offer you that, in my opinion, are... It's almost like they just stuffed them in just to promise you more stuff. And I don't really see how I would ever use it, but I just do want to show you real quick what they are. There's one folder called Scan Overlays. So basically it's these crazy graphics. Let me just play one for you. And that's like literally all they are. They give you a whole folder full of them. Let me find them for you. They're like 1 second long. And they're just like these, like, I don't know, these like abstract drawings, line drawings. This one's called Chinese. 3D models. I don't know. I have to be honest with you. I don't know what you would use these for. I don't know what you would use these for, but let me just show you like how you would use them, I guess. I don't know. In my world, this is not something I ever need. I'm just gonna throw down a custom color. And then let's drop in this one's like it's like plans for a house, I guess. I'm gonna drop it in. And we're gonna change the blend mode. So if I hit subtract, all of the white line work becomes black, and then I can see my color solid underneath it. If I hit add, it's white. If I, no, that didn't work. If I stencil Luma, I get black with the lines become the color of my custom color solid underneath. I don't know. I don't know. These somebody created these because they needed them for something. It's just, like I said, nothing I personally would ever use. And then let me just show you the last item that they give you. It's called the OMNIA full pack. And basically it's like sound effects and music tracks. I don't know if, let me just play some for you so you can see. So like this is called air rush, but it doesn't actually sound like an air rush sound effect. It's like an instrumental sound. Angry swell. Sparkling atmosphere. They're just like, I don't know. Very ominous sounding, not for me. I did find a use for those scan overlays. It's just like the most random selection of sounds and music. I don't know, it's like leftovers. So to me, this is not good. If you're looking for music or sound effects, I recommend you going over to Audio Blocks. I will link to that below. So to me, this is like a throwaway. The odds that I would find something in here that I particularly needed for a very specific thing, and that it was called something I would know what it meant, you know, and I would be able to find it in here, is like zilch. Like, this to me is not for me, not unless you're making sci-fi movies for a living. I just don't see why you need this at all. So I'll probably just end up deleting these, to be honest with you. So what is my final thoughts on the Studio Planet Master Bundle that's all over my Facebook newsfeed? I would say for my $99, I would say that it is worth it. I actually would. I would say that I can't believe how many transitions come with this pack. I can't believe how many LUTs, if that's your thing, come with this pack. I think it's a great value if you're interested in those things. Even if you were just interested in the transitions, I would even venture to say it is a lot of transitions for $99. They are drag and drop. They're so easy to use. They're easy to install. They didn't, you know, kill my computer because I was a little nervous about downloading from this site, just because I don't know anything about Studio Planet, and their website name does not match their company name, and that's very weird to me. But I think that it actually was worth it, and I do see myself using some of these plugins. I might, like I said, go back in and delete a few because there's so much overlap and there's just so much content. I'm definitely not going to keep these scan overlays. I don't need these sound effects or whatever. I subscribe to a couple of really good audio libraries, so I just don't, this is just not for me. But otherwise, I am pleasantly surprised. So if you have seen that ad on Facebook, then you've probably been curious about this Master Bundle, and now you've seen everything you need to know about it. Is there anything else you're seeing advertised to you on Facebook that you think I should check out? Let me know in the comments, because I love investigating this stuff for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again.